All right, I'm going to give you an update here on what's going on with Scarlett. Uh, Here's the 9-inch Ford rear end we got from Quick Performance. I don't know if y'all watched the last video. These are some lower shock mounts I got from another company. I don't, they probably fit on something. I have no idea what they are. Like, I'm all for like super high performance, and these are just ridiculous. If they're for a tank, or I tried to make them work. You can see actually this one, how heating and bending it and it just wasn't happening. So we got rid of this garbage, which I have no idea really what the hell it's for. I replaced it with these nice little shock mounts. They bolt right in the factory shock mount spot. They pick up, the coilover shocks, which we're going to replacing the standard shocks and springs on the car with these. A lot of adjustability, lighter weight, just a much better setup than what they had in 1968. One thing too with the Quick Performance rear end is when I got it, they had these on there. And I cut them off. I have no, maybe somebody out there can tell me what this was supposed to be for. I have no idea. I cut them off. I left this part of the bracket on just because all the welds are all together, and to try to clean that all off would be a bunch of work. But that's how this came to me. I have no idea what that's for. Whatever. More garbage. So we are going to convert this to coilover shocks. This is a cross member that'll go up in the car, and these 2 points here will be the upper mounts for the coilover shocks. These are going to be the lower control arms that will replace the factory stamped steel ones. Very nice, very heavy duty stuff. This is all air, all this stuff actually, even these upper control arm mounts, it's all aircraft quality bearings. The upper control arms, aircraft bearings, adjustable, so we can adjust the pinion angle. All going up in the car. You could probably install this with the gas tank in the car. I'm not going to. It's so much easier to just pull the gas tank. Give a lot more clearance here to get at that upper area of the car for installing this stuff. I'm going to pull the gas tank. We'll start taking out the rear end. I'm really hoping to save the exhaust system. It's a really nice exhaust. I don't want to have to cut it up. We'll just see how that goes. But yeah, so we'll get this all apart, tank out, pull the rear end out, get the new rear end in, the new rear suspension, and then there's going to be a whole lot of stuff after that. You got the center section, gears, brakes, wheels, tires, all that stuff is all going to be part of it. The biggest question, I guess, probably some of you are going to ask, okay, this is all really cool stuff, Chris. So what's the point here? What are we doing? We want to go fast. We want to go really fast. My goal with this car is to drive across the country with it and hit every drag race track in between I possibly can. It's something I've wanted to do for a long time. I've got the car, got the time, I've got, I think, a little more wisdom than I had 40 years ago to make it all happen. So that's the plan. And I guess one thing you have to think, when these cars were brand new, 1968, the highest horsepower engine you could get was 375 horsepower. Think about that. And there was some dealer-only stuff you know, they were putting 425, 450 horsepower engines in them. And you see some of those cars at auction, you know, that are documented, you know, with dealer installed, and those cars go for huge money, huge money. Oh my God, it's crazy. But the original car was engineered and designed for 375 horsepower engine. Today, you have to understand a small block Chevy engine, 600 horsepower, nothing. Like nothing at all. That's just a basic small block Chevy engine. A big block Chevy engine, a 540, 550 inch cubic inch engine, 800 horsepower. It's just standard. That's like, nobody even thinks about it until you're over 1,000 horsepower, which is, with nitrous or even a single turbo, 1,000 horsepower is nothing on a big block Chevy. So you can't just put big, you know, 700, 800, 900 horsepower engine in here. A 1968 car that was designed for 375 horsepower and expect anything good to happen. You will tear everything up, especially with the convertible. You have to be even more careful because everything's in the frame. You have no strength in the body. There's no roof there. So all your strength is in the frame. And if you throw a whole lot of power to it and aren't ready for it, you can fuck the car up. You can like bend the frame, you can torque the body, tweak the quarter panels. You do a lot of damage. So I'm going to build the chassis, suspension, brakes, steering, all the, I guess you call it infrastructure of the car, and get all that right, and then put the big motor in it. And then once the big motor's in it, then we can start going fast. So it gives you a little bit of an insight on what I'm doing, where I'm going, the scope of this project. It's going to be, that's a lot of work, a lot of time. And just like with these lower shock mounts, you think everything's just going to bolt in and be nice and easy. And I haven't even begun to find out the problems. But we'll figure it out. And that's where we're going. And she's going to be a sweet car. Okay. We'll update you soon.